well, Trump can't resist talking of the violence he incited. Now, former Defense Secretary Mark Esper said that the former squatter Donald Trump proposed shooting demonstrators during the 2020 protest, which followed, stemming the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Now, in a forthcoming book, the former Pentagon chief confirms a previous report from Michael Bender of the Wall Street Journal, according to Axios. Um, it holds. It also adds to an ample body of evidence that the former squatter is remarkably preoccupied with the use of violence in services to his causes. Can't basically I remember him saying, "Can't you just shoot them? Just shoot them in the legs or something." Esper attributes this to a statement that Trump had made, as he writes about the summer of 2020 in a sacred oath, which was also reported by Axios. Esper recalls that his refusal to push the military on this ideal wasn't a very difficult decision. He decided in the same period to oppose Trump's musings to lose the military on protests under the 1807 Insurrection Klan Act, basically. Um, in the context of Trump's records, is there anything surprising in Esper's recollections? Trump is the pathetic man who also in 2020 called protesters in Minneapolis thugs and warned on Twitter, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. This statement echoed a one-time Miami police chief who had used the same words during a riot back in 1967 and added, "We don't mind being accused of police brutality." Now, Trump first referred to gun violence in a political context when he infamously declared that he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and he wouldn't lose any supporters. He also made a veiled reference to a gun violence when he said that if Hillary Clinton were elected president, her judicial appointees might be subjected to a reaction by the Second Amendment people. The Second Amendment basically grants the right of people to keep and bear their guns. In other instances on the stump, Trump admired and even encouraged violence that didn't involve firearms. He called on his sycophantic inbreds to knock the crap out of anyone they thought might throw a tomato at him. He also said, "I'd like to punch people in the face." And while a heckler was removed from one of his Klan rallies after a protest at a Klan rally in St. Louis, he complained about how nobody wants to hurt each other anymore. Yeah, bullshit. Trump, you're inciting this violence, so basically that's why. Candidate Trump also showed reluctance to condemn violence reportedly that was carried out in his name. In August of 2015, two men invoked Trump's name as they beat a homeless Mexican man. He initially said it was a shame, but seemed to offer them an excuse, saying his sycophants were very passionate. No, they're not. It would take 2 more days for him to say that such violence is unacceptable. Anyone who thought the White House might temper Trump after he cheated in 2016 would be disappointed. As squatter, Trump reportedly asked his staff whether asylum seekers at the U.S. southern border could be shot to prevent them from entering the country. In public, he told police officers they shouldn't be too nice as they deal with criminal suspects. He also told the officers that instead of protecting the heads of suspects as they get into patrol cars, you can take the hand away. He praised a member of Congress who assaulted a reporter, and throughout his squatting, he expressed admiration for violent dictators like Putin. And why does Trump do this? One answer may be his temperament. When when somebody interviewed him for a biography, he said directly, "I always love to fight, even though he doesn't know how. All types of fights, including physical." He didn't offer much of an example of trading punches with anyone, and no one, including his classmates from the New York Military Academy, recalled him fighting a fellow student because Trump doesn't know how to fight, and somebody would knock his fat ass out anyway. So when reporters at the Washington Post looked for a fighting Trump, they found no evidence except for a brief scuffle with a classmate who was just under 5 feet, while Trump was barely 6 feet. The reporters concluded that the tough talk may be a way to may be a way to connect with his sycophants, and they wrote that it's the way he wants the world to see him as a fighter, even though he's a bully. Um, the idea that Trump may want to associate himself with violence, it makes perfect sense that he has forever dwelled on this image and sought public attention. He surely knows that violence, like sex, sells. He once affirmed while criticizing pro football players who note to call attention to racism that TV viewers were switching from games to his Klan rallies because they were a hell of a lot more dangerous. Not really. Well, dangerous in the way of inciting violence, yeah. But whatever the cause, temperament, image building, or attention seeking behavior, We must keep in mind that where Trump's talk may lead. If Esper and Bender are also to be believed, it led to the squad of the United States pushing officials to consider shooting people, and ultimately it helped set the stage for the January 6, 2021 Klan attack on the U.S. Capitol by Trump sycophants. The question here, and what we're left to ponder, is not whether Trump likes to toy with the idea of using violence. He loves using violence. But more important, it's whether he'll continue to do so, and perhaps more intently, if he runs for squatter in 2024 and wins again, which we cannot have. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. And if you want to support my work even further, you can donate to my Patreon link, which you can find in the About section of my YouTube channel. And for just as little as a few bucks a month, you can donate to the channel, and that can help the channel go a long way, and thanks for listening.